Live in Western Oregon, this is NBC 16 Today.
Good morning and happy Monday to you. Welcome to NBC 16 Today. I'm Lily Taylor. Before we get to our top stories, let's check in with Brianna Chavez, who has a first look at our weather this morning.
Out the door throughout the morning, you most certainly could run into a little bit of some wet roadways out there. Last night into early this morning, we managed to track out about 1/10 of an inch of accumulation, and it still is expected to be a little bit of a mixed bag throughout the remainder of the day. As far as temperatures are concerned, well, we are starting to see those clearer conditions throughout early this morning, allowing for that mixed bag of slightly cooler, slightly warmer temperatures to continue to settle on in across the area. I mean, if you're traveling a little bit farther to the south along the I-5 into the Rogue Valley, you're running into about 12 degrees warmer. A little farther to the north, and well, we're going to keep it rather even compared to where we were 24 hours ago, and that's expected to continue to be a bit more of that mixture into the remainder of the day, capping it off into some 50s before we really see that cooling trend and wet weather make its push inland.
Thank you, Bree. We now take you to our live shop buddies. Not really tracking traffic on the ground, but rather the air this morning. We're starting our morning off at the Eugene Airport, getting a head start on that Thanksgiving holiday travel. It's definitely going to be a busy day today as well into the rest of the week. There are several flights leaving this morning from San Francisco to Los Angeles and Seattle. LSB reporting all of them on time. There's no flight delays, luckily. And we are also tracking a crash, however, in Elkton. It's 4 miles east of Elkton along Oregon 38. No details as of yet, but if you're heading that direction, either give yourself a few extra minutes or make sure you slow down in that area. But other than that, it's not looking like a bad start on the roadways or in the air for the Eugene area. Thank you, LSB, for that check-in.
So if the helicopter isn't brought back, we're going to lose lives. I mean, it's already proven that it saved lives, and the numbers are there. If an ICE facility is here, it's just going to bring a lot of hate and a lot of damage.
Newport community members voicing their frustration over the U.S. Coast Guard's recent decision to relocate the city's rescue helicopter to North Bend. The change is stoking fears of an ICE facility opening on the Oregon coast. Oregon Senator Ron Wyden hosted a town hall in Newport on Sunday, where many asked what's being done to bring the helicopter back and keep ICE out. Jennifer Singh from our Portland sister station was there and spoke with residents who say all of these issues caught them by surprise.
Hundreds flooding the Newport High School gym Sunday to hear from Senator Ron Wyden on what the federal government is doing on the Oregon coast.
But I'm here on the ground because I want to know what's going to happen in the air and make sure that people can be rescued in the ocean.
Wyden's town hall comes after the coastal community has made recent headlines over speculation that the Department of Homeland Security is thinking about putting an ICE detention center within the city, and also over the relocation of the U.S. Coast Guard's rescue helicopter from the city to North Bend.
Helicopter was taken from us in the middle of the night. No warning, no public hearing, no nothing.
And we didn't find out about it until we found out about the letter that the ICE facility was intending to come in.
Without a Coast Guard helicopter nearby, there's fear for everyone who will need a water rescue.
It's not if lives are going to be lost, when.
What is the next step that you will do as a United States Senator to support our community and the other communities like our community who are also fighting for their helicopters and life-saving equipment?
Senator Wyden says he's been pleading for answers as well, but says the federal government is keeping cards close to their chest.
There's no excuse for the Trump administration to make it this difficult for folks to get answers.
No, and I say that with the caveat that I don't know what else they can do.
That was Jennifer Singh reporting on Friday. We told you that the Lincoln County and the Newport Fishermen's Wives organization sued the Coast Guard and DHS over the rescue helicopter's relocation. Attorney General Dan Rayfield says the state will file its own case challenging the same thing. The future of hemp-based goods like THC gummies hang in limbo of lobbyists. That's because when Congress recently voted to reopen the government, it came with a new provision to the hemp industry. Any changes won't be in effect until November 12th of next year. However, one hemp refinement center in Eugene talks about the threat this poses.
It's a little early to know exactly how all this is going to play out. Am I concerned about this? Certainly. We have 50 employees. We've been doing this for about 8 years. And so, we're a small part of the overall U.S. hemp industry. The first thing that I did was speak to all my employees and, speak to our investors and let them know that, we're watching the situation closely.
Even though marijuana is legal in the state of Oregon, under this new bill, hemp will be federally regulated, making some products illegal. One cannabis lawyer gives options for what hemp industries can do before the bill is put into effect next year.
It gives the industry 1 year to address the concerns that Congress has that can maintain the ability for farmers to be successful while having clear regulation over manufacturing and products. And if reasonable proposals or effective proposals are not brought to Congress, that in 1 year we will see a major shift in what is legal as hemp under federal law, restricting the types of products that can be out there.
Hemp is cannabis that contains 0.3% less THC content. The new legislation would also include more restrictions on testing and licensing to hemp-based products. This raises concerns about a spike in the pricing of hemp products and if some products will be federally illegal. 2,000 volunteers across Oregon asking for signatures pushing to change increases to the state's gas tax and other fees. We've been following the Republican-led campaign called No Tax Oregon, which is seeking a referendum on the transportation bill passed by state Democrats earlier this year. The bill raises taxes and DMV fees to fund state and local transportation costs. The campaign needs nearly 80,000 signatures by the end of the year to put the measure on the November 2026 ballot. Organizers of the campaign said they will share an update this week. And we're hearing from city, county, and state leaders on the best ways to stay safe on the roads this upcoming winter season. The main message, make sure you have a plan. Right now is a good time to check your local bus routes should you have to rely on public transit for work during a snowstorm. Ensure your car is equipped with emergency supplies and chains. And make sure you have supplies at home should you lose power or have to shelter at home for a few days. The Oregon Department of Fish and Wildlife is among others that are investigating the entanglement of a young humpback whale stranded last week near Yachats. The whale washed ashore on the central Oregon coastline after getting tangled in crabbing gear. The decision to euthanize the whale was made after a failed attempt to tow it back to sea. ODFW says this is an example of a broader issue between marine mammals and the fishing community. Now they're looking into what changes they can make so this doesn't happen again.
We are exploring new regulations that would allow an experimental permit to use alternative fishing gear. So instead of having one crab rope for every single crab pot, we can find alternative ways to string those in a long line, so to reduce the number of lines in the water, to reduce whale entanglements.
He also says ODFW plans on testing out the different fishing gear this summer to see if it could help, but any official changes to crabbing regulations wouldn't be seen until 2027. Portland Trail Blazers head coach and NBA Hall of Famer Chauncey Billups is expected in federal court later today to face charges stemming from an alleged mafia-related gambling scheme. Prosecutors say Billups, who is one of 31 defendants, used his celebrity status to lure in high rollers to poker tables rigged with X-ray technology and altered shuffling machines. The NBA confirms the Blazers placed Billups on leave shortly after the charges were announced last month. Billups, who spent 17 seasons in the NBA, is expected to plead not guilty.